Hello and welcome to That Man. That is me, Manga, and today we're going to look at the anime that I have picked up over the last few weeks. Join me.
That Man and his manga.
It's been a while since I've done one of these anime Blu-ray hauls, but you know, I want to get back into anime, I want to get back into watching things, and I want to share that experience with you guys. So, I've been buying a few anime Blu-rays over the last few weeks, and I thought I'd show you what I've been picking up. Maybe I'll do a separate video on what I've actually been watching, because I've been watching a lot of anime. First up, we have a title that I am aware of due to merchandising. I don't really know much about the series, but this one was rather cheap and I thought I'd try it out. And that is Azure Lane. I think I'm going to call it Azure Lane. And yeah, this is the complete series. I believe this was actually released by Manga UK or Funimation. And I kind of feel it went completely under the radar. Now I'm expecting this to be a kind of a not so great adaptation of a popular, I believe it's a gacha game, about boat girls. And yeah, I love stupid stuff like that. I enjoy weird series, and let's face it, you gotta have the bad to enjoy the good sometimes. And you know what, I thought at the very least it was a cheap pickup, and I'd probably get a bunch of, I don't know, boat girls shooting each other in a whole load of nonsense. If you guys have seen this series, let me know, and if it's worth actually checking out, I will give it a shot eventually. It's not high on my priority list. The next series is one that I feel is considered a classic, but then again, it might just be due to its age. I actually don't hear many people talking about it, but when they do, everyone seems to really enjoy it, or they at least look back on it and just go, how on earth did that ever get released? And that is the wonderfully irrelevant Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt. Now, I've watched this one multiple times over the years, and each time I always get a good enough time out of it. It's hopelessly irrelevant, it's absolutely ridiculous, and as a British person grown up with titles such as Bottom and the Young Ones, I really do enjoy some of that crude humour to an extent. And, you know, this is nothing like anything else we really see. This series really kind of goes on that whole kind of using the Western animation for titles that were such as Dexter's Lab and Johnny Bravo that were around at the time, and kind of just going, oh yeah, we're going to do an anime out of this, but it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. And this is kind of the one where it's like, I don't know, I find this one so stupid. It probably wouldn't exist in this day and age. There's a lot of stuff that's really kind of wrong, but there's a lot of really hilarious stuff, and it's one that I always enjoy going back to because it is an easy, fun watch. And yeah, I've already rewatched this one because it's a lot of fun. The next one is a title that I've been waiting for a long time to be released in the UK, and quite frankly I got a little bit bored and I became aware that season 2 is coming out. Or apparently it actually is out and it just went under the radar. It's also a light novel title that I really enjoyed earlier on this year, and that title is Restaurant to Another World. Now, this has been released by America in the Essentials label, and you know what, I'm kind of like, I don't really mind that Essentials label. I know a lot of people in the collectors community actually hate this tiny strip of silver, but if it gives me the anime cheap, then I'm not going to complain. This is one I've had my eye on for quite some time, but it's always been about £45 to £50 just to import it. I believe this was £17.99 to import it because it was re-released under the Essentials label. I do have another title which I will be getting at Christmas that is also under that label, and it just means for me to import it, it's a lot cheaper than having to pay for customs and stuff like that. I mean, £17.99 compared to £45, it's a non-brainer. I really enjoyed the light novel of this. I'm looking forward to seeing what food porn is going to be on it. I can't remember if I've actually watched the first few episodes of this one or not, but I'm really looking forward to at least trying it out. The next title is one that I haven't seen, however I am a huge fan of the original series. That's right, this is actually a spin-off to a series that never and probably will never get an anime. This is a spin-off series to Yotsuba or Yotsuba 2. This is Nyanbo. So in Yotsuba 2 or Yotsuba befriends a cardboard robot named Danbo, and Danbo pretty much became his own kind of thing. I'm sure you can actually see him there in the corner along with Yotsuba herself. And Danbo became his own kind of thing, huge in marketing. I've even seen Amazon use Danbo as kind of like a mascot character. And this is a bunch of cats. Danbo. The reason I got this is because, like I said, Yotsuba is one of my favourite series, and in the ending for this, in the ending credits, Yotsuba actually appears. That's why I actually bought this series solely because Yotsuba appears in the credits. But I've heard a lot of really good things. I've heard it's one of those really cute series that a lot of people seem to really enjoy. It's a turn your brain off kind of thing, and I always appreciate those titles. I always love them titles, so I am looking forward to checking it out. It's a very short series. I believe also Bananya, that's also really popular. So if you guys have seen either of them, let me know if it's worth checking out, especially Bananya, because that one certainly is on my radar to check out at some point. Holy Medaroli, that's right, I finally picked up more volumes of Megabots. One of these I got for Christmas, which is Season 2, which is the second half of, well, the original classic series, and Season 3. I didn't even know there was a Season 3 of Megabots until recently. Now, for me, Megabots was one of those childhood series, along with titles such as Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z. It was one of those very early anime that I got into, and I absolutely loved watching very early on. I mean, I was probably 16 or 17. The only ways I could watch anime was on anime TV, which was, in the UK, it was basically Cartoon Network and Fox Kids, and I really got into Megabots. And what was interestingly enough is, I always said for years I never actually saw the ending to Megabots, and I watched this as soon as I got this a few days ago, and I watched it all in a few days, and then I watched the last episode and I was just like, I have seen that, I just blocked it out of my memory. But Megabots is one of those series that I just feel does everything right. It's got a lot of cartoonish, over-the-top, ridiculous humour, but it's got a lot of really great characters. The Phantom Renegade and Mr. Referee both being two of my favourites of all time. Now, I haven't heard much about Megabots Season 3. I don't believe it was ever picked up in the UK. But I believe this is the first instance of the dub being released physically. I haven't heard much about it, however I have heard this is kind of what killed the franchise in the West, which has me a little bit hesitant. I've heard rumours that a lot of the characters that I loved, for example Phantom Renegade, Mr. Referee, and a lot of the side characters aren't present in this one, which kind of has me a little hesitant. But Megabots, as I said, is one of those childhood series, so I am still looking forward to at least giving it a fair shot. And you know what? I might even consider doing a video on Megabots someday, because like I said, it's one of those series that I loved. And I really enjoy the games, I really enjoy the franchise as a whole, and I just want to share the whole thing with you guys. The next anime I'm going to talk about is an anime movie, and it's a series that I absolutely adore. It's one that I was steered to by some people I know, and quite frankly, they have never missed the mark when they come to recommend series. They recommended titles such as Prison School and Girls and Panzer, two titles that became beloved in my heart. And they also recommended the original series for this one, a series that unfortunately is never getting a UK release, criminally. And it is the anime about making anime. That's right, this is the movie of Shirabaku, and I watched this a few weeks ago at Scotland Loves Anime, and I absolutely loved it. It takes all of the joys and wonderment of making anime, and also puts all of the misery and horribleness of making anime, while also being kind of realistic, but also not too realistic about it. It is a wonderful movie, and if you've never had the opportunity to check out Shirabaku, I wholeheartedly recommend it. Much like Megabots, it's one that I really am considering doing a video on, because it's a series that I feel like pretty much everybody who loves animation as a whole should at least check out at some point. It is fantastic. The next series we're going to talk about is one that I haven't had a chance to watch, but it comes with some pedigree. At least in my opinion, it comes with some pedigree, because it is by the same ones who did Shirabaku and the same ones who did Girls and Panzer, two of my favourite series, and I want a new series to remain in my heart. So I picked up the Magnificent Kotobuki. Now, I don't know much about this series. I don't know anything about it apart from it's about girls in aeroplanes. But you know what? That's just the way it goes. Sometimes you go into these series blind. I've heard a lot of really good things about it. I know there's a movie out. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to checking this one out. If you guys have seen it, let me know. Is it worth my time? I'm sure it's going to be. I just haven't had the chance to watch it because I've been watching Megabots. The next series I'm going to talk about is one that doesn't really need any introduction to you guys. If you're pretty much anybody, you'll have heard of this series. And this is volume 24. That's right, volume 24 of a certain pirate series. Now, One Piece has had a really interesting thing in the UK. We originally got the 4Kids dub. Yes, we got the 4Kids dub. And then we didn't get anything at all until last year, pretty much, when it comes to streaming services. That's right, we could only watch One Piece online illegally until last year. Fortunately, we have had the manga UK releases, which are now onto volume 24, which I think is still around 4 or 5 volumes behind the US. But yeah, I'm still about 3 or 4 volumes. I got up to the time skip and I haven't watched anything since the time skip. So that's right, despite 3 or 4 volumes ago, which was around volume 21, that's 10 years ago in terms of One Piece. That's how far behind we are. So this is the Punk Hazard arc, or at least the start of it, and yeah, I've not watched it. It's an arc that in the manga I really didn't enjoy. It had so much potential, then a certain horrible character comes in and ruins One Piece. And for me, that character I absolutely detest. I feel like this is the turning point for One Piece, and when people say that One Piece hasn't been quite as good, they normally mention this particular character being the sole reason in this particular arc, because he comes in and he resolves everything. And yeah, I still love the series. It has redeemed itself, but that character really did ruin One Piece, especially this Punk Hazard arc for me. I don't remember much about it, so I'm looking forward to at least rewatching it. So the final title we're going to talk about today is another one that I don't know much about. However, the studio, everybody loves this studio. I feel like the studio pretty much consistently has good titles, and they've got that one series which really was good for one season, and they just kept milking it and milking it and milking it and milking it. But fortunately, that series funds a lot more out there products, such as this one, a title that I've never really heard of, and that is Tamako Market. Now, Anime Limited have been doing a huge sale where they reduce all of their titles at Christmas time, and this was the only one I picked up, and it was one I wanted to pick up last year because, well, it was interesting, but it was about £55, and I was just like, I can't justify going in blind with this series, so I just kind of left it. But to me, it looks like an interesting series. I don't know, like I said, I don't know anything about it. It's KyoAni, so let's face it, KyoAni are they've got Kion, they've got Sound Euphonium, they've got Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, they've got Silent Voice, they've got Violet Evergarden, they had the original, no, they had Amagi Brilliant Park, they had the second series of Full Metal Panic. They have so many fantastic titles. They also have 3. So I'm really looking forward to checking this one out and just seeing how it goes. I don't know much about it. I believe this also has the movie included. So for £25, I was just like, you know what, I'm going to give it a try and I'll see how it is. It's probably going to be another fantastic Kyo anime series that I just haven't picked up at some point. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to watching the most. That's it from me. Thank you very much for coming along, and if you did enjoy this, remember to leave a like and consider subscribing. And I want to know from you guys, what anime have you bought or have been watching over the last few weeks? And if you've got anything, please consider sharing them with me. If there's a series that you absolutely feel that I would love to check out, recommend it in the comments, because I might just do that, because I want to get more anime series that I love under my belt. If you haven't already, consider subscribing and check out some more of the videos. See you there.